Greetings, y'all. Peace. This is your host, Empress, Coach Rita Nicole, and this is the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Yes, it is Monday, October the 17th, 2022. With that being said, we are streaming live on all networks, YouTube, Spotify, Clubhouse, Anchor, Google, iHeartRadio. Dun, dun, dun. Now, with that being said, today the topic is how to deal with difficult people. So I'm going to let this music play on for y'all while y'all get ready, pull up, invite a friend, share a link, support the room, support the stages, follow, share, do what you got to do, pull up, turn the volume up, let's go. All right, y'all. So, yes, I'm back. We are busy now. A little about this podcast. This podcast is a self-development podcast where we are waking that ass up consciously, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and soulfully, and also metaphysically if you're into that as well. Now, with that being said, let's get right into this topic because I'm sure we've all had to deal with somebody that was quote unquote difficult, right? Period. You know how I do on Monday. It's time to wake that ass up and get into this topic. So, literally, we have all dealt with someone who was difficult, right? And the first thing we decide to do is not to change them, is to figure out ways on how not to deal with that, or try to pinpoint what's wrong with them and, or that self-blame thing, because we all have people that literally sprinkle us with their poisonous rain, right? And it's like acid rain. And it just comes off as so exhausting and drenching and like harmful. So difficult people are drawn to people that are more reasonable and understanding and have a lot of empathy, okay? And that's just a simple fact, okay? Because we all have had people in our existence that may seem difficult to us, whether it's lacking communication, effective communication, different things like that. But their damage lies in their subtlety, okay? And the way they can engender our classic response, or their classic response, that it's not them, it's you. Okay? Dun, dun, dun. They definitely will have you questioning the way that you respond to them. They will say that you are overreacting. They will say that you are highly sensitive and oversensitive. And they definitely tell you that you have a tendency to misinterpret what they're saying, even though they clearly said these things and you interpret it how they said it. You know, they will definitely let you know that if you're the one that's continuously hurt or the one that's literally adjusting your own behavior, and avoiding being hurt, chances are that they will tell you it's definitely you. But what's the chances? Think about it. The chances are that it's them. If you're doing all these things to make a difficult situation run better and they're doing nothing but telling you it's you, then just reevaluate a little bit, self-reflect on that a little bit and see what you're putting out and what you're getting back. And that will definitely and wholeheartedly give you your answer. Because being able to identify harmful behavior is definitely the first step. You know how you take steps? It's definitely the first step in minimizing their impact. You know, here on the AM Inspiration Show on the Divine Intervention channel, we are very, very, very excuse me, we express very much the importance of being impactful in a healthy way. So when you're able to identify someone's harmful imp, um impact, it will definitely minimize their impact because you're able to spot it, right? And it might not give you the power to change what they're going to do, but it definitely will empower you to change how you respond to it and how you're going to move forward, okay? And any idea that low vibrational, difficult, or quote unquote toxic person in your existence, they may think that they can get away with it now, but they're kind of SOL, shit out of luck. So let's go over some tips and tricks on how to identify and how to literally deal with those low vibrational or air quotations, negative or toxic, difficult people, right? Certain words we don't like to use, so we put air quotations around them because some people only identify with certain words. You get what I'm saying? So my whole thing, one of the best ways to deal with them is to keep 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 your mind not hyper focused on what they're going to do or anything like that, because they're always going to keep you guessing about which version of them you're going to get. They're never consistent in how they're showing up ever, but they will want you to be consistent. They will want you to do things that they never do, right? So they can be completely beautiful, yesterday, and then the next day they'll have you wondering all day long, what have you done to upset them? you know um there isn't really anything that they can actually explain to justify their attitude. You just feel it and you sense it that something's not right there, with the undertoning. Listen, and it doesn't even have to be close family and friends. These difficult people can actually, maneuver out into your social networks, your apps that you're using, because everyone's big on like social apps now. And these kind of people, like if you're cool with them one day and then they start treating you funny, or they just like the undermine, the undertoning, or like, because dropping audio is such a big thing. And I hate to feel like I'm always bringing up dropping audio, but it's such a big thing now, and people are being connected, right? So if you're getting undermined by people that so-called are your friends or associates that you like to, connect with on there, just be mindful of that as well. Your intuition is not going to lead you astray, but your insecurities will. So pay attention, like I said. Now, they'll give you just enough to let you know that there's something wrong, right? But they won't give you the whole shebang, because they are not solution oriented. They want to take away your joy, even if that means focusing on them so you can't focus on yourself. Okay? Now, sometimes you can encounter like the cold shoulder or things of that nature, where they're just like rolling their eyes or sucking their teeth, or when you talking, or just laughing at you, or just doing ignorant things to try to get a reaction from you because they don't have a life. Their only existence is to try to make people look bad because they don't have anything inside of them that they feel good about them. Okay? So the biggest mistake that you're making, because you're not sure of the version they're going to show up as, is trying to please them. First of all, you don't need anyone's validation for you to exist, right? That's number one. Okay? I need a moment because I'm about to go in. Toxic people have figured out a long time ago that decent people will go to extraordinary, or extraordinary lengths to keep people they care about happy. And they harp on that shit. They harp on it. They're vamping, they're energy vampires, they're draining, and they will suck the fucking life out of you. Point blank, period, okay? Period. I'm gonna wake that ass up. We going there early. We going there early today on a Monday. Period. Okay. So when your attempts to please them aren't working, or they're not lasting very long, it's time to stop. Why are you giving and giving and giving and you're not getting anything back? Let's look at it like this. If you're invested into a property and you redid the house for an Airbnb and you never get customers, are you going to continue to market the house as an Airbnb? Are you going to continue to lose money? Or are you going to sell the goddamn house and walk the fuck away? I don't mean to curse, but I'm just saying this morning. Are you going to keep the house with no return on investment? Or are you going to sell the house and get a bigger return? Or some people, you know what, I'm going to wait it out while the market gets worse and worse and worse. And they lose more money and more money and more money. And then one day they wake up like, oh my God, I lost so much money on that investment. Let me wake up and just sell. After they all beat up and tattered, abused, and stressed out. You know? Listen, it's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. It's a lot of things that people don't want to walk away from because it gives them that sense like, oh, if I let it go, somebody else might get it and they might treat that better. If I just wait around, they're going to treat me better. No, they're not going to treat you better. It's going to get worse for you. It's only going to get worse for you because once you allow someone to see that they can walk up and down you like a goddamn river or a mountain, like a riverbank or a mountaintop, they're going to keep on doing it. They're going to use you as a rug and they're going to wipe their feet all over your ass. Period. I'm trying to tell you, listen, without you, then who? That was the first episode we started off this podcast with. Was the thing I said was, without you, then who, right? So let me go in for a minute because now we are on like our 44th episode. So if you are existing, right, all over your existence, right, everything needs you to be able to drive it or clean it or work it or create it or just think it and manifest it and project it. If you're needed for all those things, right, then imagine when you get sick and go to the hospital. Then what's going to happen in your life? You got to call for backup, right? Okay. Then imagine if something happens where you can no longer show up in your life. What typically happens? People have to step in and take care of you because at this point, they need you to get back to you so you can take care of everything. And a lot of people say, you know what? When I was sick, everything fell apart. My house was a mess. My family was crazy. It all fell apart because you are that key factor in keeping everyone aligned because you're a part of a family. You're a unit, right? So imagine a house that somebody cracked the foundation and they just leave it there for 15 years. And then somebody else buy the house and just walk across the floor and then put a heavy refrigerator and boom shakalaka, the whole floor just fall through. Right. Because you can't live in a house with a broken foundation. You just can't do that. So when you are showing up saying that I'm going to stay in this toxic situation, I'm going to continue to give these toxic people my energy, I'm not going to continue to make excuses and justifications for them to treat me badly, you're literally shitting on your own life. Period. You're literally making room for other people to make you sick. You're actually opening the door for people to say, hey, give me your diseases. Hey, give me all the spiritual diseases that you want to give me. That's STD, spiritually transmitted diseases, right? So you're volunteering yourself to get all the spiritually transmitted diseases that they have. People that love to abuse people, oh, they definitely into giving STDs out. And I'm not talking about the sexual ones. I'm talking about the spiritual ones, okay? They love giving them out. They love gaslighting. They love hurting feelings. They love telling you that you're way too sensitive. Oh, they love seeing things like that. So just keep in mind the next time that you don't get an ROI in a relationship, remember what I said about returns on investments. Everything should be an investment. Everything should give you a return. Even if that's you getting more liberated or you getting a better mindset or a healthier regimen or just even a better environment to live in. Everything should elevate your life. And if you have people around you that are lowering your quality of life, even if it's spiritually, get the fuck away from them. Period. Listen, okay? So the next one is to identify what they will do to you. They will try to manipulate you. Okay? Because a lot of the times, like I said, we just talked about that whole gaslighting thing. People say, "Oh, you're too sensitive," and this and that. A lot of people use words like that these days. You have to pay attention because we are living in a realm of people that are out for instant gratification. They want to see results right away. They don't have necessarily have solutions that benefit for the collective, but they definitely have solutions that benefit them. So when they feel like they're not going to get their way or that they want to get their way, whether it's destroying you in a process, they will do it. Period. Or whether it's keeping you around just to abuse you, just to victimize you. Okay? And I know that's not, so I know this topic is hard. I know it's coming off rough. I get it. The water's real choppy right now. I'm cursing and y'all don't know what to do, and it's like a little choppy, and it's just like, oh, this is so rough. But we gotta wake that ass up. It's Monday morning. It's time to wake that ass up. So just keep in mind that when you feel as though you're the only one contributing to a relationship, you are right. Your first thought is right. Like I said, though, keep in mind as well, I'm going to always throw this in there. Trust your what? Your intuition and not your what? Your insecurities. Because those low vibrational people or quote unquote toxic people, they definitely have a way of sending vibes out that you owe them something. It's the audacity for me, period. Okay. They show up entitled. Like you owe them something because of their accomplishments or whatever is going on in their life. Like you owe them your support. Like you owe them your sex. Like you owe them your money. Like you even owe them your fucking interest. Okay. It's manipulation. It's gaslighting. It's elitism. It's classism. It's all mixed into one shitty ass bubble together. And I'm just talking about society as a whole and actually how we have to function in society. Not talking about what people choose to be or how they choose to live their life. But when it comes down to manipulation, all bets are off because people get hurt, people get, exterminated and things of that nature because of manipulation and greed. It's all like a slippery slope when you start talking about manipulation, okay? It's like a real slippery slope. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, excuse me, toxic people have a way of taking from you or doing things that hurt you and maintain that they were doing it for the betterment of you. Like, I'm only doing this for you. I'm telling you these things so your life can be better. But you notice that your life is getting worse. Are you going to still invest? That's why I should have named this damn topic. Are you still going to invest? Because why is nothing signing you to a difficult person? You can't save them. They feel like they're fine. They feel like they're fine. They don't feel like they need you for anything, especially to save them, especially to love them. They don't need you for that. They need you to abuse you, to take your energy from you, to make you feel less than, to make you feel inferior to them, so they can feel exalted and feel superior to you. Point blank, period. And it's really just like that. I'm just saying. You excuse me. Now, sometimes you have to really think of it like this. Not even sometimes, mostly all the time, that everything that we talk about can literally be put into a personal or interpersonal relationship. Meaning it can be like a relationship outside of your home or a relationship with your family, and things of that nature. But these can exist in any type of relationship. Like I said, even if you're like, oh my God, I felt like that on social media, it can exist there as well because we're developing these trees of connectivity all across the board now. So all of these things are relevant in your life. So you're feeling uneasy. You start to feel like you have stomach cramps. You start sweating. You start to feel like unsure or just irritated around certain people. Of course, always self-evaluate first because like I said, without you, then who? I always check yourself first and then pay attention to, listen, You can't control other people's behavior. What can you do though? You can pay attention to patterns. Listen. This is how I keep myself out of that water. Listen, we might be in some choppy water on the sea right now, but I keep myself from falling off the boat without the life raft in the middle of the ocean because I pay attention to patterns. It only takes me one time to put up a red flag for me, especially when it's like coming to look around for like certain kind of like connectivities, especially like socially. Socially, I pay attention. Pay attention to how people talk to me. I pay attention to their tones. I pay attention to if they didn't have anything to say until I said anything just to undermine me. I pay attention to all of that because it lets me know that you have a problem. And because I'm not Mrs. Fix It, I don't give two shits. So I just leave them to have their problems on their own. And I remove myself from the situation, period. So they can be angry, they can be jealous, they can be hurt, they can be vengeful all by themselves. And they can project all that energy into a goddamn mirror and it can just bounce back and smack them in the face, period. I know y'all like, Empress, did you just talk about some voodoo on here? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, no, I didn't do that. Listen, I'm just giving y'all some tips. That's all I gotta say. Listen, you listen. When people are putting that evil on you or that juju on you, you put your fingers and you just point it right back to them. Listen, even through the phone, just put the finger and point it down to the phone, send it back to them. Tenfold, send it back to them 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold, send it all back to them, all that energy. Because it takes two. Listen, you know how many muscles in the face in your face. Listen, I ain't even gonna go there right now. We can go there later. But just keep in mind that you don't owe anyone anything, especially when it comes to manipulation. And for some reason, when we love people or when we care about them, we think that we owe them something. But you get like sometimes we do too much for people, and they show up entitled, and they show up like we do owe them something. Even when we don't do much for people, like say if it's like socially and we're just supportive, like okay, well, I like this person, I like the content, or whatever it is. I can't really go because too many situations as you can even say. But whatever the situation may be, if you feel like someone is treating you like you owe them any part of your life, you really have to reevaluate that. Like, listen, do I want to be a part of this? Do I really want to spend my energy with this person? Because this person is not respectful of me. They're undermining me. They're showing me all the red flags I need to see. Now, is this worth my energy anymore? Always walking your righteous truth and be your authentic self, because most people aren't doing that. Most people are living in an image driven lifestyle that they want people to think they look some type of, a certain kind of way, or that they think a certain type of way, but they actually are not being a certain type of way. And not to judge them, but when it comes to your safety and your mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, financial health, soulful health, even metaphysical health, you have to use the discernment to walk the fuck away. Period. Okay? Listen. Then listen, the thing about people who are very difficult or quote unquote toxic or negative or low vibrational people, these are people that's always that way. Like you can't get anything positive from them. You can't learn anything from them. They have nothing to offer except for what they want to offer about themselves. Well, I can't say they don't have nothing to offer. Let me not say that. They just really are self-centered, and they will pull from anywhere to get that what they need to elevate their lives. And they wouldn't care if you were like looking like a hobo next to them, as long as they look good. Okay. Now, they won't. These type of people don't really believe in owning up to their own feelings. What does that mean? They're not accountable. So if they ever hurt you and you want an apology, I mean, really sit down at the table, wipe the table off, and sit down and wait to be gaslighted. Period. Really, wait to be gaslighted. I've known, I don't personally know these women. I'm part of a few groups, but I know like thousands of women that say they record their spouses when they're talking to them because they're tired of being gaslighted. So when they go back to the next conversation and they bring it up again, and like, oh, I didn't say that. You did that. They play a recording and catch them in the act. And sometimes husbands leave. They're crying, saying they're getting a divorce, all types of things because they recorded them. So it's like you can no longer manipulate me. Now you had to be accountable because here you are being recorded saying these things. And it's not like, oh, I want to fight toxic people fire with fire. Please be careful. This is the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's October. Please be careful. Use your discernment. If you know that this person has a short temper, short fuse, letting them listen to a recording of them gaslighting you might not be the best option for you. Just period. Just always be careful. Use that information. Just if you want to record it in secret, then do so and save it for court. Do what you need to do for yourself, but move in a way that's healthy for you. Don't move in a way that's going to put you in danger. If you can help it, please don't move in a way that will ever put you in danger, okay? Okay. When you are asking accountability from someone who's extremely difficult, they're not going to fess up. They're going to find every loophole. They're going to claim to not know anything about what you're talking about. They are going to gaslight you. They're going to try to humiliate you. And the thing about this is, even socially, someone cannot know you and they don't like you. That's always so weird to me because it's like the people you do the most for, the people you love the most, it always seems like they're not all the time, but for the most part, they really love somebody else the most. Until it's too late when you decide to walk away, then they want to love you back, and it's like, do I even love this person anymore? All I've been through, you know. But it's just a weird thing about the human experience where people, they walk this earth plane, excuse me, and they have so much audacity with them, right? That they will make you feel bad about something that they did to you because they believe that they can do whatever they want to do to you and you're not supposed to complain about it. You're not supposed to react to it. You're just supposed to take it. And when you react to it, it's, oh, I told you that person was that way. Oh, I told you they were toxic. Oh, I told you they were mean. Oh, I told you this and I told you that and blah, blah, bleak, bleak, and blah. Well, I'm just saying that's just what it is because it's like they do it to get a reaction out of you. They want to siphon that energy. That's why most of the time when you're arguing or you're debating with someone who's very, very difficult, they be smiling at you. It almost looks like one of those sinister smirks. They might not smile hard because they probably don't want you to try to literally go ape shit or lose your mind. But some people do smile hard because guess what? They're siphoning your energy. You're reacting to them. You're giving them attention. Whatever sick trauma they have inside of themselves, you're feeding that little child that's inside of them or adult child that's inside of them. You're feeding it with your energy by even responding to them. So they're not going to ever be accountable. So there's no need to wreck your house, break your plates, quit your job, unless it's really extremely difficult for you and it's no longer safe for you to be there, then do those things. But if you're staying in a relationship with someone who's extremely difficult and you're living in a home with them, then kudos to you for doing that. But think about the ways that you're not benefiting. That's all I can say. Think about the ways that you're not benefiting and try to use some of the skills that, all over this podcast, up and down it, to help you develop a more sustainable, healthy relationship. Because we're not here to tell you to leave someone or to do this and do that. I don't believe in dictating or course correction. I believe in information that can help people sustain their lives, period. So when you find yourself justifying them and defending them and outside of your existence, whether it's your coworkers, your friends, whoever, your partners, sometimes even your damn children, it's unfortunate. Some people had to go through that. That's a very unfortunate thing. But you'll find yourself justifying them, but you'll feel like you're going around a merry-go-round, okay? Because it's not about you, right? And when you're intentional on what's yours and what's theirs, it will make you feel like you are defending yourself against accusations and questions that don't fit because they're not going to be accountable. They're going to flip it on you. That's why. They're gonna flip it all on you because they know you're gonna take the blame. They know it. They know that the first thing you're gonna do is deny it. They're gonna wear your ass down because they have energy reserves for years to wear you down and to the point of exhaustion. And you're gonna start thinking, oh, why did I do that? And then you discover that you were just manipulated. Period. Okay? You were manipulated by someone who will never be accountable. Um, the thing I don't like about difficult people, one of the things I don't like is that sense of grandiose. Okay, that grandiose sense where they feel like you have to prove yourself to them, like you have to prove yourself to be collegiate, intelligent, and it's almost like, well, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Are you like the president of the STD? I mean, um, oh my goodness, SATs. Like, what are you? What are you here doing again? Like to measure my intellect? Not me, but just in general. Like to measure someone's intellect, to judge them on the standards that you set for your own life. Who are you? You know, it's the audacity for me. Period. You know, a lot of times people they're full of themselves and they think too highly. I won't ever say too highly, but some people that are in that place where they want you to prove yourself to them, they do think too highly of themselves. You know, their head is so high up in the clouds that their body is still on earth, walking around. Their head just up there. Just like, you ever seen a head with the screw on it? You know, like the photo, like of just a head with a screw on the bottom of it, literally. And it's like they just really believe that people owe them something, and they'll wait till you have like something to do. Say for instance, you have like, oh, it's a birthday party I have to go to. I have a birthday party to go to today, and they knew for weeks. They'll wait to that day to cause drama, to cause a fight, to need your attention for something, anything to get you away from anything that's going to be for you, because it's not about you, right? So, just point blank, period. It's not about you. It's always about them, and they'll never apologize to you. They'll always tell you it was your fault. They'll never make you feel. They'll never make you feel like you are valued in a relationship with them. Only if it's benefiting them, and even then, that's a slippery slope to even think that that's going to happen. So, because apologies mean that they have to admit that they did something wrong. This is why you don't get apologies, because people don't want to admit when they did something wrong. Like, say for instance, like if you kiss somebody in the crowd and like, oh well, this is what I feel. Of course they're gonna apologize. Of course they don't want to seem like they're such a bad person. They want to seem like a good person. They want to keep that image of themselves that they're a great person. They treat people well. They have dignity, they have integrity, and they have class. So of course, if you're in public or you're at work, you know, you'll probably get an apology, but it's not going to be a real apology because they're still going to treat you like shit after that. Period. You know, people value the reaction more than they value their jobs. Listen. I'm trying to tell you, and some people even value the reaction over their relationships. It is just so, 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 so sad. It's so sad and it's unbelievable sometimes. It's just very sad. Um, so my whole thing is like, people that are extremely difficult will not celebrate you. You know, they will never celebrate you. They always want you to celebrate them. But when you are being celebrated or you are being honored, they never show up for you. They always have an excuse about why they can't come. They start ignoring you. They say their phone was dead, their phone was broken, so they had to get a new phone. Or then you'll see them like ignore you for all the way up like a couple days before the event happens. They still ignore you. Then a day later, because they want to get back to their original life, they might post on social media or even text you back and be like, "Oh, my phone, I had to get a new phone. I still got the same number, blah, 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 and the blah, 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 blah." All because they didn't want to support you. Another way they can show you that they are low vibrational, toxic, or quote unquote negative is by only, like, say for instance, if you're posting on social media, like a social media like Facebook, Instagram, and something amazing happens, and they only inbox you to say congratulations. You want to know why? Because they can't really celebrate you in public because one, they're envious. That's one, and two, because all the shit they said about you in in private corners and dark rooms and alleys, they can't really show up for you in public because they already said too much about you in private. All right, because to them, your good news isn't great news. You know, whatever you've done, whatever you achieved, if they even perceive a little bit that is better than them, then you're gonna have a bigger problem on your hands. So just be mindful about staying in relationships with people like that. Friendships, whatever, because the universe isn't that big, and that's just the thing about the universe not being that big is that people cannot win. Listen, I know it feels like they win. I get it. I get that. I receive that. I understand that sometimes you feel like, you know what, they're winning at life and I'm suffering because of what they've done to me. How they treated me. And this is your liberation moment to stop and recognize, like, you know what? These things did happen, but I want to use my skills to overcome, to be resilient, to expand upon my existence so I can be the best version of myself and impact my community, family members, friends in a healthy way. Period. Right? So the thing about the thing that like another thing that they do is they don't ever complete conversations. They tell you that they don't want to talk about it anymore, and it's okay to have boundaries. No one's saying that people are not supposed to have boundaries when it comes to you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that these people are habitual line steppers. Okay, habitual line steppers. They get a kick out of not being um not completing stories. They feel like that, oh, if I don't answer your question now, then next time I get to talk to you next time. So what if next time never comes? What if you just block their number? So you just try to have unanswered stories, unanswered text messages and phone calls. They leave you on red. They leave you on anything because they won't pick up their phone. They're what do they call it? Ghosting you, and they're blocking you. So literally, they'll have they'll turn around and say that you were the toxic person after they made you dependent on them by manipulation and mental, emotional, spiritual abuse and things of that nature. And they will literally win at life because they did not take your energy to just like literally like for what you think they took it for. They literally took your energy to siphon it to sustain themselves so they can, still survive off of that energy and go out into the world. Now, I know you probably think that doesn't make sense, but if you think about it real slowly and you understand that if someone is not showing you that they care about you and love you, then there's no need for you to be around them. You cannot make someone love you. Adelaide has a whole song, and I can't make you love me if you don't. Right? She has a whole entire song. That joint is a banger too. Period. Now, the undermining tones that we talk about is a big trait that toxic people have, and it's just like I don't understand the condescending tones, the undermines, the undercuts. To me, it just reeks of things that are like so nasty and disgusting that it's like, you know what? You can keep that energy and go over there with that because I refuse to be, you know, um, burnt at the stake because of your nasty disposition in the world, right? So a lot of things that a lot of things won't even matter anymore at the end of the day when you think about it. So with that being said, guys, I'm so happy y'all showed up today. I'm so grateful for all the support. Now we will finish up part two tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow on how to deal with difficult people. So this will be another day, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, daily, 7 days a week, 365. This was the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Check us out, Divine Intervention Show, on all networks like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. I almost said in Zoom and Clubhouse. With that being said, peace, 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 y'all.